You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
We can deport violent, illegal criminals. That makes a lot of sense.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Obama was not the president for this system.
Do you think that House Democrats and Senate Democrats should try to cooperate with Donald Trump
if he tries to kick people off their health insurance? We're going to have a Youngstown street fight.
The American people, they voted against Hillary. They voted against this administration.
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Welcome to the Abolitionists Roundtable, your all-access pass to the 2017 Red, White, and Blue Conservative Revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, here are your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
Well, good morning, folks. Thank you for joining the Abolitionists Roundtable. This could be one of the most important shows on air today. At this particular time, Mayor, how much time do we have before one of the biggest this election where Donald Trump is going to be sworn in?
Well, Obama leaves office in 12 days, 16 hours, 53 minutes, and 20 seconds.
In 20 seconds, folks. Folks, we know that this is a very serious. This is a very serious time right now. We know that that Mr. Trump said that this is not going to be a traditional, and I agree with him. This is not going to be a traditional inauguration. He's not going to be out there in that open space where the environment that has been created by this administration and Democrats, where something that can happen to President-elect Donald Trump. But first, let me just say greetings, Wham Lister. Thank you for joining the Abolitionists Roundtable. Happy New Year 2017. This is going to be an awesome year. We're going to make sure that it's an awesome year. And secondly, I want to say that this month in January is the Abolitionists Roundtable 7th year on radio. 7 years right here on Wham Talk 1600. So we want to thank you for being here with us. So that we can be here for 7 years. So thank you very much. But then also the Abolitionist Roundtable, we use this month. This is a fundraising month too. So we're going to need your support this month. So I'm going to ask if you don't mind going to our website at artofmichigan.com. We need your support. It's some things that we're going to do a little different this year than past. Well, right now the Abolitionist Roundtable is a LLC, and so we're going to go into a 501c3. So I want to make that announcement, but I need your support because Phil and I we hired an attorney to represent us to go about this process for us. And folks, we're gonna start doing some things. We need to be right on the ground. It's when news happen. And so the Abolitionist Roundtable want to be there when things happen. We'll send Phil, we'll send myself, we'll send the mayor. And so we want to be on the ground because right now, folks, I don't know if you see this, but you notice that this administration is continuing, and the news, all the fake news networks, they're continuing to try to create this narrative that it was the Russians that influenced our election. It was not the Russians that influenced our election. Phil, he's on the edge of his seat right now, so he got something to say about that. It was not the Russians that influenced our election. It was fake news that influenced our election. Phil, I'm going to just say this right here, that when those emails came out, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all these fake news sources out there, except for a few networks, a few shows on Fox that actually reported this. The rest of the fake news outlets, they did not want to have anything to do with those Julian Assange emails that they released. Am I right
That's
about
exactly
that?
Right.
They wanted nothing. So how is it the Russians influenced the election when the fake news media outlets saying that they can't look at top secret information, and so they didn't report it, so the people don't know anything about it. But they still continuing to create this narrative of this field. What they did is they tried to overthrow our election through the process of manipulating Trump's rallies. That didn't work. Okay, and the fake news tried to manipulate that. Second, what they did, they tried to, the electors, they tried to influence them and threaten them. And then second, they tried to go into, Michigan was one of the states, they tried to have a recount. Now that the woman, what's her name, the third for the Green Party, her name just
Dr. Jill Stein.
Dr. Jill Stein now has she has security for herself against the leftists that were out there trying to create this environment. Can you believe that this leftist actually now had to have security for herself?
Yes.
Well, Del, the interesting thing is that the whole recount issue was taken off the table as soon as they found out that in Detroit, there were less votes in the ballot box than there were counted votes. And as soon as that news came out, it was off the table.
It was off the table.
And it's exactly what these people do time and time and time again. For example, as I said before the show started, my thought is that the reason why the Russians are coming is the big issue of the day is because it has taken completely off the table the fact that Hillary Clinton was feloniously using a private server to transmit our national security issues. That is such a crime of such proportion, and the Democrats or the elitists or whoever's doing this,
and the globalists,
the totalitarians, Dr. Sebastian Gorkin likes to call them the totalitarians. They have it completely taken off the table, that important issue of Hillary Clinton being held accountable for her crimes against this nation.
But when
instead, it's the Russians.
When you talk about influencing elections, now it has been acknowledged that Russia had no way of affecting the actual ballot box. They had no way of changing the vote any kind of way.
Everybody has established that fact.
Exactly right. But who has the ability to affect our elections? That is the countries that are flooding our borders with illegal aliens. And they are influencing our elections.
They were planning on using that to influence our elections, but it didn't have the kind of impact that they wanted. They believed that this
because so many of those people that are here legally, and that's the overwhelming majority of people that are here, enough of them voted for Trump.
Amen.
Because they seen him as the key to economic stability in this country.
Well, see, something when our show opened up, Phil said something about President Obama. He was not the president for this kind of country, for this kind of constitutional republic. And so those people that you mentioned, Phil, that's coming from all kinds of countries, they've seen people like Obama before. And so what they did is they voted against people like Obama and Hillary. They've come from countries
those people that come here legally disproportionately voted against the people that come here illegally. And like I said, there's more of them that can vote legally. Now, we know that they keep telling us, oh, there's nobody actually voting illegally. Well, that's a lie. But why else would you want to have identification to be able to influence how the money is apportioned to a state? They take in consideration the illegals that are here, and they count them as part of the apportionment.
And why would you ever want people to be able to vote without showing ID.
Exactly.
Without showing who they are.
Yeah.
That is so elementary,
It
Watson.
is very elementary.
So now, what is that? Is that influencing the election?
Yes.
You bet it is.
And the Democrats will not cooperate at all
and they
to
did
try to
all
stop that influence of the election.
All that fake information, all this that they did to manipulate the process, the legal process, it still didn't help them.
Yeah.
But here,
That's right.
hold on just a minute.
But see, they wouldn't
go
be
ahead.
able to get as far
Yeah.
as they were if it wasn't for the news putting out the false narratives.
That's right. Yeah, that's
and
right.
that's where we have to come back
That's
to
right.
say
Yeah.
it's the false news,
That's
and
right.
it's not, and that's
Yeah.
who's infecting the election.
And that's what it is. And you know what? And the people seen through all this fake news.
Yes.
Now, again, the fake news, they starting up again. The liberals are starting up again. And so I want to go back again. We're going to get back to Russia in a few minutes, but I want to let our audience know that if you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call at 734-822-1600. Or if you'd like to send us an email at art@whamradio.com. I'll look at the emails. I'll read your question or your comment on air. If you don't want to call in, but again, go to our or send us an email at art@whamradio.com. Visit our website. Again, this is our fundraising month. We have 7 years here. If you enjoyed this show, we've been here for 7 years. I can't believe it. I remember when Phil and I walked into the studio 7 years ago, January 2010. We walked into this studio, this beautiful studio, and we met beautiful people like my brother Derek. We met Derek and Linda and Thayrong and everybody here. And we've become a part of this family here. Yeah. And folks, you have become a part of the family too. So I want to go back again to our agenda for a minute, because some things that has happened in the last couple of days. And liberals, they're trying to create this bitterness, this anger. It's not a military coup right now that's going on against Trump, but we're going to say that there's a media coup, and so this is how they're creating this hostility. And here, let me see how I'm gonna do this. Okay, well, here, let's do this right here. So I want to just say the name of the show: Are you ready to fight for the land of the free? All right, so by Monday, you can go to our website, artofmichigan.com. We have a YouTube icon right on the side. You can click on that, and you can go to YouTube, and you can look up today's show, and it'll be under the title, Are You Ready to Fight for the Land of the Free? Are you ready to fight for the land of the free? Folks, I believe that today we have Donald Trump is a modern-day George Washington, and that's what we need today. We need a modern day George Washington. But the Democrats have a different perspective about this right here. I just heard today, and you've probably seen it too. We heard on CNN, fake news, the Clinton News Network, Steve Cohen, and he said something about Trump, and so I want to play, Derek, if you don't mind playing. And here, let me just set up the narrative real quick, because Steve Cohen, he is a Democrat from Tennessee, and he went to the NAACP because he represents a big majority of so-called African Americans in his district, and because he's white, they said, you can't join our club. We don't want anything to do with you. But what he's become a mouthpiece for them with over-the-top rhetoric. And so what we want to do is, this is the first part of the show. We got a lot on the agenda, and if you'd like to join the conversation, I want you to give us a call or send me an email. And so this is what Steve Cohen said in Soundbite 101, Derek.
The scary thing is about his position with Russia. The last two people I remember in this Western Hemisphere that were so close to Russia were Arm & Hammer, who loved oil and money, and Fidel Castro, who loved to talk for long periods of time, hated disloyalty and dissent, and eliminated it, and was very much an egocentric individual.
So you're comparing Donald Trump? You're comparing Donald Trump to Fidel Castro?
Personality traits, indeed. Castro
really?
wanted to. You watch the Netflix program.
Well, hold on. Pause there for a minute, Derek. Pause there for a minute. I watch Netflix. You watch Netflix. He proud to let you know, I watch Netflix and I seen it myself. I watch Netflix. He gonna compare Donald Trump to Fidel Castro. I don't know if he know, but liberals love Castro.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
This dummy, he's so stupid. He don't know that liberals actually, Black Lives Matter. They mourn when Castro, when he was with his death. Do he know that Kappa Knuckle, he had on a Malcolm X T-shirt at a press conference. That stupid little boy. He think he's smart. And he had on a Castro. He had a T-shirt with Malcolm X and Castro, and he said that that was a historic moment in 1961. And so, how can he compare somebody because he watched Netflix? See, the reason why he watched it, Phil, on Netflix in the first place, because he was fascinated by Castro.
Yeah,
he was fascinated, and this young kid Kaepernick, he liked Castro. Matter of fact, 102. Let's hear what Colin Kaepernick said about Castro. He liked something about him too.
I mean, what I said was I agree with the investment in education. I also agree with the investment in free universal health care.
Okay, thank you very much. He said, I like that. He called it investment. Now, this is a multi-millionaire. If he went to Cuba, everybody would get $40. He wouldn't be a multi-millionaire. But he said he liked that they have free education and free health care.
Yeah. And if he looked on Netflix a couple of years ago, when Castro was still lucid, when he was still comprehensive in the mind, he gave away some rice cookers, if you remember, right around the time Elian Gonzalez was. You remember that?
Yes, yes.
He gave away. I mean, they were lined up for miles to get those rice cookers. And if you didn't get in there to get the however many it was, you didn't get one. So these people are always talking about somebody making an investment in health care and stuff like that. I would like for Colin Kaepernick to really understand about what this health care is about. They talk about taking away. I think it was Harry Reid that you played.
Yes.
That said that he was going to do something to stop him from taking away people's health care. They don't have health care. The government has the health care.
Well, Schumer said that the GOP is going to make America sick again. We're going to get into that
by taking away their health care.
They're taking away health care that people can't afford, Phil.
The only people that had their health care taken away was the people that had either a union-sponsored health care program or they were paying for their health care themselves. The government took that away from them and gave people that don't work a health care program that they have to pay to access.
Yes.
So nobody has taken any health care away from anybody except Barack Obama. Yes. He took my health care and gave me some stupid stuff that I can't afford. And I can hardly pay for.
Yeah,
that's what was taken from me.
It's taken a lot of money out of people's households, Mayor. That health care, and so I want to just say, Schumer, he adopted this slogan. He was on the House floor, adopted this slogan. The GOP want to make America sick again. And I wrote off 5 lies the Democrats told to sell Americans health care, but. Again, they with this over-the-top rhetoric, they saying that Mayor, that if Republicans repeal health care, they're going to lose elections. The American people are going to be mad at them.
Yeah, exactly. Even though that was one of the reasons why Trump was put into office, was because he said he was going to repeal Obamacare first day in office.
And that's why people are telling him, I don't care what you talk about, what you replace it with, get rid of that nonsense that we've got now. Look, first of all, we're looking at this like there is something given to people like Social Security. This is not like Social Security. This is something that this system of government has never found to work because of the number of people in this country. You can take 80 million people and give them all a health care, but when you talk about 350 million people, now you're talking about what having the government pay for this. As inefficient as the government, they can never pay for this. It has to be done by the individual and by corporations paying for it. No government can fund.
Yeah, that's a big task right there.
This kind of thing. Yeah. And the reason why they can't, because the government is the most inefficient entity there is on the face of the earth. Yeah. Even this government. Yes. And Donald Trump is coming in with the proven track record of making corporations efficient. If he just does a little bit of efficiency, raises the efficiency just a little bit, he'll get a handle on this. But you can't have it where the people are going into this idea and saying, well, we're not going to cooperate with him. We're going to put a stick in front of every door and try to lock it. This is what they're doing. They want failure because of a failed system, and then they want to blame the people that are trying to get rid of it. See, they want to tell him that he can fix it. How are you going to fix it when it's unfixable?
Well, again, this goes back to Obama's legacy. All they're doing is just trying to protect him, This is what he ran on.
But they're not only trying to protect him. Yes. They're trying to protect the idea of forcing a round peg in a square hole. This, what we talked about, this system, Barack Obama was wrong for the system. He's wrong for the system. His philosophy is wrong. Progressivism, socialism, and communism will not fit in the capitalist peg. You know, that's a square peg going in a round hole.
Yeah, I'm concerned, though, that the Trump administration is going to use the same big government tactics to design another program that is nothing more than a government takeover of something that should be free. Dr. Rand Paul has the best idea, and that is, why not replace Obamacare with freedom?
Yeah, well, I'm for that 100%.
You know, because if we get another 2,000-page set of laws created by the supposed good guys in government, which is an oxymoron in and of itself, then we're under the same problem that we have, is it's heading towards socialized medicine.
Well, that's what I'm hoping that we see, because as you notice, the Schumers and the Harry Reids keep saying they have nothing to replace it with. No, you should not replace this with another 50,000 page word program. Yeah. The system will take care of it if we allow it. We had a fine healthcare system in this country before Obama come in with this monstrosity that he put in.
Here, hold on just a minute. Let's just get, and I'm going to let the mayor finish up. Let's just get Gary in before we go on the break. Gary from, good morning from Gary from Hazel Park. Good morning.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Joy, joy, joy. 2 weeks to go.
Yes, 2 weeks to go.
Hey, what I want to mention is, they're trying to tell us that we shouldn't, we should be upset with Trump because he doesn't trust the intelligence agencies. Remember, these are the same guys who had no evidence about Benghazi the Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal, or Bergdahl, or anything like that. They should have a dossier as thick as Obamacare, ready to arrest this man just as he swears himself out of the office. I mean, this is why we don't need to trust these guys, because they have allowed Obama to trample all over this country for 8 years.
Yeah, well, Mayor, what did you want to say about it? I agree with everything. You know what? Hold on. You know what, Garrett? Hold on to the other side of the break, and we're going to finish that. If you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call at 734-822-1600.
And I agree.
All right.
You're listening to the Abolitionists Roundtable, patriotic, red, white, and blue, conservative all-access radio, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice. They're leading the charge in advancing the conservative revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600.
Hello, I'm Milt, and this is Logically Speaking Uncensored. The shadow government of the Democrat Party is a real and present danger. On November 8, 2016, the United States was witness to an historic and phenomenal political battle, tantamount to the epic battle defined in the Bible between David and Goliath. David, in the personage of Donald Trump, was supposed to lose, and Goliath, in the personage of Hillary Clinton and her machine, was supposed to win. But what evildoers meant for ill, God meant for good. And it is this truism that allowed Trump, fighting against the odds, to be victorious. I firmly believe in the power of prayer. And I believe the prayers of millions of legal Americans were answered with the victory of Trump. But while I and millions of Americans are elated and proud about Trump's success, we must not lose sight of the fact that winning one battle does not mean the war has been won. Because the FOEs, which I pronounce as foe, is an acronym for the forces of evil, are more dangerously deranged than ever before as they mobilize their anarchists and concoct insurrectionist strategies and oppositional plans calculated to derail President Trump and circumvent the will of the people. Democrats for years have put forth the lie that people, specifically illegal immigrants, are living in the shadows. Therefore, a shadow government is a natural extension of their underground comfort zone. And one of the shadow government major underground machinations is obstructionism and personal vilifications for implementing socialist organizer Saul Alinsky's dictum of polarization, presented in his book, Rules for Radicals. And with Ali Obama, the Democrat most prominent titular leader, domiciled in Washington, D.C., and leading the never-ending fight against the United States, the malevolent intrigues and treasons being evoked by the losers, known as Democrats, is just a snapshot of what they would be doing if they had won. Therefore, we the people, emboldened with truth, must not let down our guard, thinking that evil has been vanquished. Because even though American patriots won the president battle of 2016, the goals and objectives of American haters to divide the United States, nullify Christianity, and invalidate the relevance of God remain unchanged. That is why we must fight relentlessly in 2017 to keep, enforce, and secure the victories we have won. For if we the people ignore this truth, we will reap the whirlwinds of evil retaliations against our freedoms and liberties, because the shadow government of the Democrat Party is a real and present danger. I am Milt, logically speaking, uncensored, saying, think about it.
All right, thank you very much, Milt, for sending that down. That was a great commentary again. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our friend Gary from Hazel Park. Let him finish his thought. I said thought. Again, folks, this is our 7-year anniversary. If you don't mind going on our website, artofmichigan.com. This is, I'm going to have to do this all month, so if you don't mind, you have to excuse me. But all month, I have to mention that this is our fundraising month, a fundraising month. We're going to do some things a little different. We've already spoke to an attorney that's putting some things together for the Abolitionist Roundtable, and we want you to be a part of this. And so we want to try to do things on another level, because we can see that with liberalism, the intensity is coming. Even though we won an election, even though they've lost election all across the country, and state and city halls and everywhere, thousands of seats, over 1,000 seats, these folks, they still, we just talked about it on the break, they still trying to set the platform of the rules of engagement. They trying to tell us what to do, how to play by the rules, but then they play by a different rule. Matter of fact, they play by the rules that's a part of the legacy of the Democrat Party, and that is we march like the British. We march in straight lines, and they hide behind trees. Yeah. They hide up in trees. They hide behind children. They're gonna do whatever they need to do to win.
That's right.
And so this is the same kind of strategy at Hezbollah and all these different terrorist groups. They have the exact same kind of strategy. To put somebody in front, they shoot, and then if you shoot back, oh, you just killed somebody. Yeah. Oh, you the one that just took away Johnny's health care. Oh, you just did this. And so they know how to use the propaganda news media, the state-run news media, fake news, the CNNs, the Clinton News Network. They know how to use all these different networks to create their narrative.
It's called Cloward and Pivens.
Yes.
Saul Alinsky.
Manufactured chaos.
Carol Quigley.
Yes.
But the biggest one of them all is Curly.
Oh, yeah.
The Curly effect.
The Curly effect.
I call it the Three Stooges effect of the Democrat Party.
Oh, boy. And so, as a matter of fact, once I get finished with, we're going to let Gary finish his point, with this Schumer thing. I want to point out a couple of lies that Democrats told to sell this health care. Let me just say one of them. Health care will cut your cost of health care. Obamacare will cut the cost of your health care. Yeah. Last time I talked to my wife, she said she was upset. She said, "Deal, you know how much we pay for this? It's like $13,000 for a family. Yeah. Can you believe that?" Yeah. All right, Gary, I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought.
That's all right. No problem. And one of the things I didn't mention was the whole idea of this illegal server. Yes. And it was Clapper himself who sat up there and gave us a long list of crimes and said, "Oh, nobody would prosecute this." I mean, we can't trust these people because they're Obama's people.
That's right.
You mean it was Comey who said that that no one would take this case. The prosecutor wouldn't.
Isn't that what I said?
I thought you said Clapper.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did. Okay, call me. And you guys were just mentioning. Just lost it.
Well, okay. Well, go ahead and finish up your thought. Of course, you're welcome to call back anytime. All right, I'm going to have to end it there. We got a few more calls on the line. We want to continue, and thanks a lot for calling this morning and talking to us, Gary. Again, I want to, here liberals are still referring to that if the GOP repeal health care, or Obamacare, they'll never win another election. This is false. I think they ran on health care and they lost the election. You see how they try to they use this manipulation, this false narrative that if you repeal health care, then you'll never win another election, when they carried health care and they ran on health care and they lost elections, and this election at a real historic level. Mayor, I want to say another one, Mayor, another lie that the Democrats tell about health care. Health care would not increase the deficit.
Right. Well, you know what? I wrote down a couple of comments that Sean Hannity had displayed on his program a couple of days ago. What the Obama legacy looks like.
Okay.
$19.9 trillion in national debt
That's right.
when Obama leaves the office. That's a U.S. Treasury Department statistic. The national debt increased by $9.3 trillion under Obama. There were 583 million hours, man-hours, increased by the regulation paperwork that we have to deal with. A $40 million cash payment to Iran was given for a hostage deal. That's a quote from the Wall Street Journal. 2,988 new federal regulations finalized since Obama took office. So there's a whole bunch of statistics that are true news, that we need to redesign the narrative. We need to take hold of this opportunity that we have to stop letting the Democrats define what the narrative is.
Did he happen to mention how many executive orders, signing statements, and executive, there's another one. But there are 3 different ways of doing things with executive action. What they call executive action. I think that's the other one. And Obama has increased them, but I never heard of signing statements as being an action, an executive action, until
right, and that's why it's going to be so easy for Mr. Trump, for President Trump, to take his pen and his phone and get rid of it. But one of the things that Sean Hannity pointed out, economic cost of regulation since Obama took office, $873.6 billion.
Wow.
That's the economic cost of regulations. Increased in student debt since Obama took office, $690 billion.
Almost
billion.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, I mean, these are phenomenal statistics. Manufacturing jobs that were lost since Obama took office, 301,000. That's the narrative that we need to focus on instead of allowing the Democrats to make us all say, oh, the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. I'm tired of it.
The rules of engagement.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Here, I want to say that we got an email from Tom. He said, you know, they're not talking about the effects of hack emails and how that affected the election. And the second part is the truth is what swayed the election. And I agree with you, Tom, very much. It was the truth that got out there, and people saw that their liberties were going to be taken away. Matter of fact, even Harry Reid said something that they should do to Donald Trump. And so, Derek, if you don't mind playing 304 for me, please. 104. This is what Harry Reid said that Obama, that this administration to do to Donald Trump.
It's obvious that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's obvious he can't control his mind or his tongue. And what I've suggested, if now, because he's the nominee for the party, and he's entitled to briefings from the CIA, for example, I said publicly, give him fake briefings. Pretend you're briefing him. Don't tell him anything that you don't want to get out.
Okay, thank you. You see how a top Democrat, Phil, Mayor, say that that the intelligence community, the CIA, should give President-elect Donald Trump fake briefings. I mean, if you said this when in 2008, when a community organizer was elected to the highest office, I don't care what color he is, I don't care, I know he's half white, I don't care at all. I'm not going to take responsibility.
I'm not going to take responsibility.
Phil and I'm not taking it. We're not taking it, Phil.
He won't admit it.
We're not taking, we're not going to take responsibility for our half. He's half white, Phil.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Yes.
Please, 100% communist, and that's the real problem.
There you go, right there. And so if you said something like that about him, but can you believe he actually said something like that on a fake news to CNN?
Well,
that we should give him fake briefings.
Well, what did when Rush Limbaugh said he hoped he failed, and that's all that they went with.
That's right.
Rush Limbaugh wants Republicans wants him to fail. When Mitch McConnell said we're going to legislatively fight him and keep him from getting reelected. I mean, they acted as if they said what they have said about Trump. You know, they acted as if Mitch McConnell said, well, we're going to take this guy out by any means necessary. That's not what he said. That's the job of the opposition, to oppose the sitting president if they feel as though he's going against what their philosophy is. And he did. He was against the philosophy of this country. He has shown everywhere he has violated his oath of office. He has violated the spirit of politics in this country.
Yes.
The Constitution says every citizen should be guaranteed a Republican form of government.
Yep.
They didn't say anything about democracy.
That's right.
They said
That's
a
right.
Republican form of government.
Well, that's what they want. They using these key words for their constituents out there. They believe that it's a democracy, and so because they believe it's a democracy, their behavior reflects a democracy, Mayor.
You know what? I don't know that they even believe this is a democracy, because they're not so stupid as to not know that we have a constitution. I really truly believe that they push that narrative of this being a democracy because the word Democrat is there.
Yeah.
And so they feel as though, well, vote for Democrats because we believe in democracy. Rather than if we would start using the word republic, maybe the same thing would happen.
On our side, we use the word republic,
well,
but
not
you
enough
notice,
of us do.
Well, you
I
know,
even challenged Dr. Sebastian Gorka last weekend on my radio interview with him. He called it a democracy, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, Dr. Gorka, this is a republic." And he kind of got a little. It seemed like he got a little irritated. Well, it is a republic, but it has democratic values. Yeah, they do. And so I didn't want to carry the argument further to actually tell him that the reason why I am so opposed is because of the word Democrat.
And not only that, though, look at the inroads have been made by the socialists. What's his name? Sanders? Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got college kids talking about their socialists, and people say, well, you know, that's really communism. Well, I'm a communist. I mean,
as if it's nothing. As if it's nothing. Well, you know, it's just like you said. They're promoting that Trump is like Fidel Castro, but yet the left loves Fidel Castro. That's that false narrative. Then we got the poor kid that was brutally beaten.
Go ahead.
Brutally beaten.
Go ahead.
And what does this woman on Don Lemon's show, Simone Sanders, say?
Well, here, let's set the narrative to who this is. This is the one we played a soundbite a couple of weeks ago. And she said that it was white lash. She said, you know, that this white racism today is not. She is one of those over the top people too. I mean, it's scary. She said, well, it's not, you know, it's not lynching, it's not Jim Crow. You know, she said today is microaggression. It's you speak well. She said that's today. This is the racism. And so go ahead and continue, Mary.
Well, she said the other day, we cannot callously go about classifying things as a hate crime. She was ready to defend not calling what we all saw on this video of a poor kid. And we hear he's a special needs kid getting the crap kicked out of him by 4 black people, 4 black young people, and again,
these are adults. These are all adults.
They're adults,
we have to call them
so
adults.
Poisoned
because let me
by
just
the
say this
media.
right here: the news media. I've been watching the news media and feel you know what they use? They've been using. They've been saying kids. These are kids. These are misguided kids. No, these are not misguided kids. No offense, Mayor, but these were adults that did adult action based on the behavior of their party, not the behavior of Donald Trump. But they're trying to create this narrative that it was Trump that set this environment, and that's false.
That's false, but I mean, we have all been saying we've got to approach our education system because our children's minds are being poisoned. And they are being poisoned. And I'm not justifying any kind of crime.
I'm with you.
But we have to figure out a way to take back our education system so that our children are being taught the truth. And it's there to be seen. The Democrats' playbook has been laid wide open this year.
I'll tell you where we need to start. With Debbie Stabenow, because she said that she did not want to support and she would not support Betsy DeVos.
Right.
Did you hear her say that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, she said it.
But she didn't held that seat for 2 terms, and
Yeah,
it's time for
it's
her
time
to
for
go.
her to go.
It's time for her to go.
So let me be the first one to say that I'll cast the first vote.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
and so you said something, and I'm with you 100% that we need to the school systems need to reform so that we can save our children, so we can save our sons and daughters, and so on and so forth. But I don't know if you read this, the New York Times. This is from the New York Times. Eric Holder has been hired by this the state of California. Okay, and so. And one of the things that they said, having the former Attorney General of the United States brings a lot of firepower in order to prepare to safeguard the values of the people of California. What values are they talking about? Well, I pulled something up. This is from this is October 19, 2016. Yes, after school Satan clubs can be coming. Could be coming to your kids' grade schools, not high schools, grade schools. And they said, this is from the National Satanist headquarters, and they said that that they're going to launch counter strikes against grade school Christianity by opening up after school Satan clubs. Yeah. Satan clubs. Again, who set this environment? The Democrats, Obama, Hillary, they have set up this environment now where evil were our children at a young age. Yeah. And they hired Eric Holder to protect their values of California. This is their values right here.
Yep. Yeah, they've got the thugs.
This is their value.
The big thugs.
This is their values right here. They after our children. They're after our children. They're after of them. They're after them. So we got to fight ahead.
They've got them.
Yeah, we got to get them back.
When we turn our kids over to these idiots in this National Education Association and the others, they got them. Now we got to get them back.
Yeah. Well, here, let me just say, some of the places where they want to start clubs are Atlanta, Detroit, Washington. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go back for a minute. I think the city already have enough problems. Yeah. But again, I want to go back. Atlanta, Detroit, Washington. Wait, let me go back again. Did that say Detroit?
Detroit. Yep.
Did that say Detroit? Yep. Did they say they want to come here to manipulate our not high school, but elementary school kids? Yeah. Folks, we're in a fight. We're in a real war with evil, and we will win.
That's right.
Amen. Yeah, we will win, but that's why we have to set the narrative.
We do.
We have to keep revealing these errors and presenting the proper way. I mean, for California to hire the big gun thug Eric Holder of Fast and Furious fame, he wouldn't prosecute those thugs standing outside the voting booth. I don't remember what state that was in, but that's the legacy of this guy. Pennsylvania, Eric Thug Holder.
Yes.
Yeah. It's shocking. But again, we have to counter it. I think Donald Trump is just going to be a wonderful addition to our political process if he doesn't get consumed by the machine.
Well, it's not a machine that's going to consume him, man. You can see the liberals, and not to cut you, the liberals are going to consume him with just all kind of stuff, like the news media now, with this fake. See, they trying to just say that he's a Russian agent. They trying to set this environment, just like how these adults went and kidnapped a special needs adult and they tortured him. Yeah. They want somebody. Just like we never know when that trigger go off in the head of some of these terrorists, these Muslim terrorists out here, because that trigger will go off. Yeah. And matter of fact, what did the guy say? He went to the FBI? To the FBI and said that he think that he been brainwashed that
the Islamic State was infecting his mind. How in the world did a man get on an airplane after he said that to the FBI?
Believe that?
Really?
They took his guns and gave him back to him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Politics.
Yes.
We've got to capture our politics.
That's the Fast and Furious technique.
Exactly.
That's what they did they let them walk.
Folks, go to our website, artofmichigan.com. This is a fundraising month. Folks, this month, you have to help us out. We're going to fight for America. Happy New Year.
12 days, 16 hours, 1 minute, and 38 seconds.
To continue the roundtable discussions by mailing correspondence to Art of Michigan, Post Office Box 135, Garden City, Michigan, 48135.
Or follow Phil, Del, and Janice at artofmichigan.com. You can also send emails to artofmichigan@hotmail.com. And most of all, continue to listen every Saturday and tell a friend.